So it is the 12th of September, 2024. It's about 20 minutes to 10 o'clock. Now, we all know that I was gang-stalked and surrounded, violently assaulted, kidnapped, unlawfully confined, while I was in execution of, my lawful duty to take possession of my stolen property on August the 29th at 7 o'clock. So, you're forced into a situation where you're being intimidated, you're being threatened, you're being caused to be in fear of harm and injury by this individual who they're just regurgitating all the lies that have been told to them by the Saanich Police Department. And so within 3 days, within 72 hours, I had informed all the actors in the BC government here that I would not be partaking in your malicious prosecution. I would not be partaking in your waste of taxpayers' money, in your waste of the court's time with a vexatious, frivolous, scandalous, without merit action, which is exactly what you've done, so you can protect all the criminals. Because criminals protect criminals. Now, last Saturday, the gang stalkers are back at the door here attacking me with paperwork. I don't give a flying fuck what your fucking profane, pathetic, puke, provincial paperwork says. It doesn't apply to me. Thanks. I don't consent to services with criminal organizations because I'm not a criminal. And so in the morning, 3 times, this gang stalker getting paid by the Saanich Police Department is calling me. Now that's called criminal harassment. That's a crime. That's an indictable crime. And now this morning, about 15 minutes after 9 o'clock, there's a call from the cabal, British Columbia. Why are you calling me? So now what you've done is quite obviously why you were at the door on Saturday and why you were calling in an act of criminal harassment is to inform me that you think I'm going to accept your invitation to your malicious prosecution. No, if I don't say no, that I can't come back at you for damages. It's called a maxim of law. Have you ever read maxims of law? Criminals acting as the crown. You have no claim, you have no case. And yet you're continuing on. Now, I've checked my emails here at the email address that I sent you the notification on that I wouldn't be partaking in your malicious prosecution. I don't have any emails from you. If you have paperwork, you can deliver your paperwork via email. And you all know my email address because I send you correspondence all the time, but you see I'm dealing with imbeciles, infants, and illiterates. I'm dealing with infants, imbeciles, and illiterates. Because how much correspondence have you received? And you ignore it. So all the correspondence that you send to me, I will also ignore. Who the fuck do you think you are? You are criminals. Duthie, Murdoch, the Crown Counsel there, spewing your lies all over the bench. I'm constantly being robbed. I constantly fight for my property to be returned, and then I'm falsely accused and maliciously prosecuted. This is now a pattern of mobbing, malicious mobbing. You are stealing my time. My time is my property. If you are destroying the enjoyment of my time, that is the crime of mischief. You fucking pieces of Satan servants, Satan worshipping shite. Now I'm about to make a call here to the Complaints Commissioner, and let's see what kind of service we receive from this cabal.
Hello, You have reached the office of the Police Complaint Commissioner. Please hold for the next available representative. Office of the Police Complaint Commissioner, how may I help you?
Hi there, I'd like to file a complaint, please.
Okay, what is the police department that is involved?
Saanich Police Department.
Okay. And you're looking to do this over the phone?
Well, I'm in fear for my life, so I need to make that known, and I need to make those responsible for conducting these types of complaints aware that I'm being gang-stalked by Saanich Police Department, and there was an assault on August the 29th at 7 p.m. by that department.
Okay, sure. I'll just, let me just shut my door here, and we can go over this together. Okay, how about you tell me a little bit about what happened?
So I was gifted a property in Saanich by my spouse in a trust back in 2017. And the bank came in and flipped the house into the bank's name and then sold the house out from underneath me, and they kept all the money. And so in March 2020, they've now kicked me out of my home, which is my security, and they've left me with nothing. Literally nothing. They've also stolen an in-trust automobile. Now, I had let the Victoria Police Department and Saanich Police Department know that this was happening, and they chose not to act at that time. So I've now I've had to follow what's happening with my home. So the first two that had it sold it a year to the day of when they got a hold of it. And now my home is being rented out as a commercial property. And so I am aware of who has the title of the house and who has the mortgage of the house. And I've let those individuals know repeatedly over quite a few years that you are in possession of stolen property. I'd like to keep this matter private. I don't want anybody to go to jail. I don't want to have to prosecute anyone. I can prove my claim to you. And they're refusing to cooperate. They've called the Victoria Police Department and, they've been dishonest. And so at the end of August, I had again provided notification to the trespassers and to the persons involved in this that I need to take my property back because I have a right to preserve my own life, and I'm not doing well because I don't have any financial resources to get by. I'm having a hard time even going to the grocery store and keeping a roof over my head. And so I had let everybody know. I had let the mayor of Saanich know and all the councillors know and a number of members of Saanich Police Department know this is what I would be doing. And when I arrived in peace. I meant no one any harm. I've never owned a weapon in my life. I am a very peaceful woman. I was immediately mobbed. There was at minimum 6 vehicles, and there was at minimum 12 armed persons surrounding me, and I have one item of security left, which I don't have now, and they kept telling me to get out of where I was inside, and I said, well, I can't do that for you because, I can't consent to what you're trying to do, because if I consent to what you're trying to do, then I've basically, I can't say anything to anybody about it because I've allowed it to happen. So I tried to de-escalate the situation for about 25 minutes. Very peaceful, very calmly. I have some of the conversation recorded on a live Instagram. And I'm saying, I'm in fear for my life. You are violating I think I kept saying, you're violating Section 7 and Section 12 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. You're violating my rights. And I said, I'm in fear for my life. So all of a sudden, there was 2 SWAT team members, and the back passenger window, and then the window right beside me, they both at the same time got caved in by a deadly weapon, and so all the glass it flew all over my body, and then they violently took me out, and then they, obviously I'm now out of where I was safe in, and I'm now being kidnapped and unlawfully confined, and then when it was time to speak to, because now I've got criminal charges on me. I mean, there's 2 of them. I can read them right here to you. They're criminal harassment, which I'm not guilty of, and then because I couldn't get out, because I was in fear and I knew my rights were being violated, now all of a sudden I'm being charged with willfully resisting and obstructing a peace officer. And so when a Crown Counsel started to speak, I'm noticing that there's just nothing but dishonesty coming from this individual, and the dishonesty that this individual has received has come from police departments. Like, they're the ones who have told this individual what I'm now hearing being spoken into the court. And I mean, I haven't slept, I haven't eaten, I'm a 51-year-old woman, I'm extremely thin because of the amount of, well, just awful things that have happened to me, and I can't really think straight. Like, I don't really know how to, and so then I'm forced into a situation that I know I can't be a part of. It's a malicious prosecution is what they're doing in order to keep me from taking back my property, which I actually have a lawful duty to do because I'm the power of attorney and the trustee of that property. And so now, Saturday night, this last Saturday night, please excuse me that I don't know the date, but this just last past Saturday, there was there was 2. And one of these individuals was there that night on the August the 29th at 7 o'clock. So I recognized this individual. They've come back to where I'm staying, and they're pounding on the door. And I'm not willing to have any more conversations because they're not reasonable. Like, they don't hear me. They don't want to help me. All they do constantly is harm me and hurt me. And so because I had said to a number of different individuals in the province here, I mean, I can't be a part of a malicious prosecution. I can't be a part of you wasting the court's time and you're wasting taxpayers' dollars. I'm not a criminal. I have no criminal mind. I have no criminal acts. I mean, I don't know why I do know why you're doing this. You're intimidating me. You're intimidating me. You're threatening me. So I can't go do what I have a lawful duty to do. So this individual, I just peeped through the peephole, and there was paperwork. And so this morning I got a call at 9 o'clock from the province of British Columbia. And so putting all the puzzle pieces together, it looks like they're refusing to adhere to my lawful instructions that I can't be a part of what you're doing because I'm consenting to you committing crime against me and my family. And so the Sandwich Police Department, I have gone inside a number of different times and asked for documents or asked for help, and they just outright refuse to help me. They just put up roadblocks and they won't help me and they don't want to listen to me. And it's a pattern of behavior that's been going on for years, and I don't really know, I have no idea even where to start anymore because I honestly am in fear for my life.
Okay. So just to confirm, the 2 individuals that came to your door this past Saturday night, they were police officers, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I have my information correct.
Okay, can I say something? I'm so sorry to say, but one of them was hidden, but the one that I saw was dressed up in the outfit that they wear, but then there's one that because they were laughing, like one was looking at one and it kind of like mocking, because obviously as soon as their hoof hits that door, I'm terrified. I mean, I'm literally terrified because I'm so traumatized that any little noise. And I do have the police file number here for you, if that is helpful at all. I don't know if it would be
Sure,
helpful.
I'll grab that from you, yeah.
The police file number it's 403. That must be how you determine which department it is. And then there's a semicolon, and then it must be the year, 24. And then there's a dash. And then it's 15930 is the number on the paperwork I have here.
Okay, perfect.
And they won't identify themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I ask for cards and I ask for identification, because how helpful is it for me to call you and have absolutely no idea who's just assaulted me? Like, they won't tell me who they are.
So that incident that occurred in August. I think you said August 29th.
Yes.
Where they broke the windows. You were in your vehicle, just to confirm?
I was in an automobile, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And during this interaction, did you receive any injuries that you want to note? Because you said the glass fell on you. I just want to know if there's any injuries that I should note down.
Well, there was glass underneath my feet. It didn't cut me, but, I mean, it's more like the psychological and the emotional, you know, because I'm very small, and I was terrified. I was terrified, because I knew their intention. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could tell what the intention was and what they were going to do if I got up. I couldn't get out. Like, I couldn't. So they're telling me to go, and I can't. Like, I cannot do what you're telling me to do, because if I do that, then I'm consenting to you committing crime against me, and I can't do that. And you're going to disturb the peace of all the neighbors here. And I didn't come here. I've never disturbed. My spouse and I lived in that home from January 2003 until it was stolen from me in March 2020, and not once, not ever, did we disturb the peace of our neighbors. I was trying to de-escalate the situation, which is another reason why I couldn't get out. And then it escalated. Well, why are you... One of the windows in my little automobile was smashed out before by someone, so the window behind me, there's a piece of plastic taped on to the automobile. Like, why don't you just cut the tape and open the door? Why did you need to go to the level that you've now vandalized and completely destroyed the last item of security that I have left? Why are you bashing in the back passenger side window? Like, what is the purpose of that?
Yeah. So what street were you on when this happened?
It's just off of Glanford. It's the Polyanthus Crescent block.
Polyanthus Crescent block. Okay. Off Glanford. Okay. So I would just like to confirm with you, are you looking to go forward with a formal complaint today?
Well, I am in fear for my life, and I honestly don't even know who to contact, like how to get them to stop, because I'm being criminally harassed. Like, I don't know who to contact to get this to stop. Like, now where I'm staying, I don't even feel safe, and no woman should ever be made to feel unsafe where she is. I mean, I can't have this. I can't.
Yeah. So I will let you know that by making a complaint, we do require, a name, a first and last name, and a note. We do have to notify the department that a complaint has been made. So by making a formal complaint, that information will be shared. They are to not act upon that information until there is any sort of notification from our agency saying, yes, there is a level of police misconduct here, or no. But you say that you're in fear for your life, and that, you're a small woman, and so I just want to let you know, like, by making a complaint, this is what information is shared with the department.
So I've made my situation even worse. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, I don't have your name. Okay. I haven't sent anything to the department. So
okay.
I wanted to let you know that before you decide to make a formal complaint, just because of the concerns that you have raised so far. So, unfortunately, the Police Act, which is the legislation we work under and with, it doesn't allow for us to submit anonymous complaints.
Oh. Right. Now, I do have video evidence. I did, because I was so in fear, I turned on Instagram Live, and then what they did was I couldn't get out of my automobile because I knew that they were going to tow her and impound her, and I don't have any money to pay for any of those costs. But in order to get proof of the body of the crime, which is the automobile, I had to pay $400 to even get It's about 15 minutes long of me, going around her and saying, like, I was inside her, and now she's had 2 of her windows smashed in, and I mean, all you had to do was cut the tape and open the door. Like, why did you, I don't even have any money to fix her. Like, why did you have to go to that level? Like, why are there over 12 of you here? I'm a 100-pound woman. I'm not even 5'4", and I'm not violent. Like, what is going on here that you need to go to this level of violence against me? Because I'm just trying to do what's right. Like, I'm not lying about anything. Like, and they won't listen. They just constantly come at me with violence, and they won't help. It's just more harm. And they don't actually know who to call, and it makes, I feel like I've just made it worse for myself. But I do need to give you my name because I don't know what else to do. I don't have any friends and I don't have any family here, so I don't really have any support. And I'm scared. Criminal charges, are you kidding me? Why don't you just listen and help me instead of making it even worse for me now? Sorry, I'll get it together. You don't need to hear me cry.
No, don't apologize. It's okay. Well, it's not okay, but I'm saying by you expressing your emotion it is okay.
Thank you.
But, you haven't made anything worse for yourself at this time. Nothing is going to make things worse by making a complaint. The officers and police, they are legally not allowed to act upon or retaliate against anyone who makes a complaint. That is considered a very serious offense, and I haven't seen that happen in my 3 years of being here. However, it doesn't take away from your concerns. Your concerns about that are valid. You want to protect your safety. That's valid.
Yes. Right.
And I'm not going to force you to make a complaint either. No one's going to force you to do that. It's completely up to you.
But I'm just worried about other vulnerable individuals who might face the same kind of violence, racism that I'm facing, because, where are you supposed to go for help? I mean, who do you call when you're this afraid all the time? I don't want to be afraid anymore. I just want some help. I want someone to listen. That's all. So you need my first and my last name?
Yes, if you'd like to go forward with the complaint, I'll take that information from you.
Yes, please.
Okay. What's your first name?
It's Victoria.
Victoria. Okay. And what's your last name?
It's just like Stevens, but with an N in the front, so it's Nevens.
Okay. And what's the best phone number to reach you at?
250 661 0610.
0610. Okay. And would you prefer email address to provide or a mailing address?
An email address, and it would be, is it possible for me to send somebody the 2 videos that I have? Because, it's hard for me just to explain the level of fear that I had, and so, but if I show you, then it will be easier to understand what happened, because I do have proof for you, like on video. Yeah. And I have a pen and paper here, so I can write down things myself.
Okay. So for the video, if you want us to have a copy of that.
Yeah.
So once the complaint is processed, we send out an email with an acknowledgement letter in it.
Okay.
So what I would suggest is you would reply to that email.
With that information. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then that way it goes straight to our info box, and we can attach it to the file for you.
Yes, that would be helpful, because it's one thing for me to say it, but then it's another thing for me to actually have like what happened, or at least some of what happened. Not all of what happened, but some of what happened.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. You can absolutely send that to us. So what was your email address?
So it's all small letters. It's NEV 473 at gmail.com.
gmail.com. Okay. I'll repeat it back to you just to make sure I have it correct.
Yes,
so
please.
I have MEEVEVIC473 at gmail.com.
Perfect.
Is that correct?
That's perfect.
Okay. Awesome. And what was your date of birth?
Oh, right. It's a bit embarrassing. It's June 28th, 1973.
1973. Okay. And I'm just going to check my form here, see if there's any other information that I'm missing. Just a second here. Okay. Okay, if you wish to, but you don't have to, it's only for our office's statistical purposes only. Did you want to provide your gender or ethnicity?
Oh, well, I'm a woman, and I identify as a foreigner because I have Rh negative blood, and that blood type has no earthly origin. And so this is one of the reasons why I keep being attacked like this. And so it's important for individuals to know that I'm not just making this up like scientists actually say, that Rh negative blood has no earthly origin. And so I've had to try to figure out over my 50 plus years of being here why these horrible things keep happening to me. And so I identify as like a foreigner, like a stranger here.
Okay.
And this is part of the reason why this racism is happening to me. That's why. Because, I'm not just making up that Rh negative blood has no earthly origin. Scientists are the ones who say that. So thank goodness I have scientific backing. Otherwise I'd sound crazy.
Okay. So you have mentioned that whenever you try to ask for officers' names or badge numbers, any sort of identification, they don't provide it to you.
Oh no.
So there's no names or badge numbers that you have that you are aware of that you'd like me to note down.
There was a fellow named Mike. There was a fellow there named Mike. His first name is Mike, and I think his last name started with a W.
Okay, that was with Spanish, correct?
Yes, and then I asked some of the other ones, but they don't ever... Oh no, we're not going to identify ourselves because the SWAT team was there. I had the SWAT team for little old me. I'm not what do you do? What are you doing here? They have the SWAT team out. There was at least 6 vehicles there. What are you doing? This is nuts. This is overkill. I'm not here to do nothing bad. I'm just here to do my job. I got a job to do. That's my house. I need it back.
Okay. So I think for processing purposes, on my end, I have more than enough information. So thank you for providing all the information, going over it with me. I know that it is hard and it was emotional for you, so thank you. So what will happen next is, like I said, we'll be sending you an acknowledgement letter that will have your file number on it.
Gotcha.
And then you can do whatever you wish. You can reply to that and send us the video if you'd like, or any further follow-up information that you'd like to provide. You can do that. And then once the file has been processed, it goes into the hands of an analyst here at our office. And what they'll do is they'll review the information you've provided. They most likely will reach out to you directly to speak with you one-on-one for any further follow-up. And they'll conduct what's called the admissibility review. So they're looking into whether the officer's conduct meets a certain level of misconduct. So if it does, that means the complainant will then go forward for an investigation. If it doesn't, that means it's concluded. But either way, you're provided with that determination by letter. And I would say, right now, those determinations are taking upwards of 3 weeks or more. So just be patient with us because we're just dealing with a higher number of complaints. And there's a bit of a backlog to go through. So doing our best to get through all of those, but just hang tight and be patient with us until an analyst is assigned and then has reached out to you to talk to you, okay?
Yes, I will do that.
Okay, perfect. Is there any questions that you may have for me?
No, I don't have any questions. Just thank you for your time, and thank you for your listening. And if I made you, if I traumatized you in any way, that certainly was not my intention. This is actually why I don't want anybody to know what's happening to me, because I don't want to trigger or traumatize anybody. What I'm going through is just absolutely horrific, and I really don't know where to go for help.
Yeah, well, that's kind of you to say, even, while you're going through your troubles and your traumas, you're worried about other people's traumas. That's still very, very kind of you. But no, thank you. I'm okay, and I hope that you're okay and that you can take care of the rest of the day.
Yes, I hope so too.
Yeah, okay. Well, take care, Victoria.
Thanks so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. So this is what it cost me to go get proof of the body of evidence. $400. So that was August 31st. And it's $50 a day to have her impounded. So these individuals, unbeknownst to them, because they were not told the truth, are in possession of property obtained by crime. And it's a crime to receive a valuable consideration for me to have my property returned. I don't have any money to pay rent now. The social worker is refusing to respond. So you understand about maxims of law, right? No one is bound to expose themselves to danger. So I don't know who the fuck called me this morning at 18 minutes after 9 o'clock from the province of British Columbia. You are now committing the crime of criminal harassment. How many times do I tell you that I will not comply with your malicious, vexatious, frivolous, scandalous, without merit garbage? There's a pattern of behavior here. Every single time I have been robbed. You not only aid and abet, you then protect the criminals. A right once vested cannot be divested, so that is my home, that is my property. You will not continue to waste my time, my precious time, with your absolute garbage. But I also know, I was on a support group yesterday. For hours, I was on a support group yesterday. And we all have had the same experience of when we reach out, to these alleged services, you're not helped. We all had the same experience with the BC Ombudsperson staff. Now, I've never filed a complaint with these public servants before, but somebody else has recently, and this is what they had to say. That this service, they're there to actually avoid investigation and the accountability of the persons who are now causing loss, harm, and injury to victims of crime. So, Nikki Sharma, what do you have to say for yourself? Because you're the head of this criminal cabal acting as the BC prosecution. What do you have to say for yourself? Because if I call your office, I know you're not going to pick up the phone, Nikki. I mean, you don't talk to anybody, right? You're all over social media, spewing all this garbage all of the time, but you actually have, I mean, what do you do? So how many times do I need to tell you? Consequences for noncompliance. So it says here, you are warned that unless you have lawful excuse. So within 72 hours, I had informed the cabal and all these different agencies, well, these are my reasons for noncompliance. Because now what you're doing is called the crime of intimidation. Now you're aiding and abetting mortgage fraud. Now you're aiding and abetting trespassing. Now you're aiding and abetting hate crimes, racially motivated hate crimes against me and my family. And you do this constantly. This is your fucking job, to make sure you destroy my life. But in actual truth, you're destroying your own lives. So I was supposed to go pick up, let's see here, where is this?
I mean, this is some of what I sent them. Like, if everyone's equal before the law, you've been into one of these rooms, haven't you? What the fuck is going on here? You've got an evil altar and you've got an evil idol. Yeah, no thanks. I told you, we don't enter the realm of the dead. You only deal with the dead. You're looking for the fictitious person that the Crown and the Vatican have created to turn me into a dead entity. Well, I'm a living woman, so I don't consent to your satanic rituals, your invitations to a satanic ritual. So is that why you were calling this morning? British Columbia at 18 minutes after 9? Is that why you're calling? To invite me to your bullshit party? I don't need an invitation, thanks. I won't be accepting your invitation. So what did my father tell you? Did he tell you that you were not to create idols? He did, didn't he? But you're not going to listen? So why would that be? Because I've been in the whorehouse many times. Oh, absolutely. So what are they wearing? What is this? What are you wearing? Are you wearing all black? And isn't it funny that the District of Saanich is hoarding? Is it hundreds of millions of dollars that you're hoarding? And you can't put body cams on any of these armed and dangerous pigs? You can't body cam these fucking violent savages up? Why is that, Dean Murdoch? Why is that, David Eby? Why is that, Mark Farnworth? Why is that, Nikki Sharma? Why is that, Shannon Saltier? Why is that, Lieutenant Governor Janet Austin? Because you don't want anybody to know that you're actually the criminals. That's why you don't have body cams on these fucking beasts. Right, so I was there and there's no help. There's just more violence, like when AJ was stolen, identical treatment because I fought for his return. So the ministry maggots and their fucking slimy solicitor liars, they call the police, right? They call the other criminals to back them up. So I was charged unlawfully. I mean, they all knew the house is being stolen. Again, there's no help. I'm the one being, I was kidnapped. I was kidnapped and I was unlawfully confined overnight again by a male Saanich pig. And now, that's what I heard on August the 31st. This female acting as the Crown Counsel. So you're going to try to convince me, because that's who you're trying to convince, right? That bencher doesn't have a clue. Doesn't have a clue. I mean, how could they? You're trying to convince me that my spouse, who passed away in May 2017, has sold my house in December 2020 to Benjamin Howe. Well, that would be an impossibility. So now you've committed perjury, and now you've aided and abetted mortgage fraud and trespassing on my home. So you're actually willfully, knowingly committing mischief against me and my family. So who really is the criminal here? See what I mean? Yeah. So she starts lying that I've got criminal harassment going back to 2007. Well, that would be impossible because the fucking fraudulent charges weren't laid till December 2010. And then you've got the Lausch landlord stealing from me so he can give it to some fucking skank so she can use my stolen property to make herself money while I end up with not a fucking dime of my property. Again, I go to the fucking pig department, Victoria Pig Department. They're not going to help me. They told me it's a criminal matter is a civil matter. So then I'm the one working justice. So the bitch who's got my property then calls them, and then they start criminally harassing me, following me around, laying false charges. And I wouldn't play your little fucking game then either, did I? No, I didn't play your little game. And I'm not going to play your little game now. I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out who that female is. So I don't include myself in the realm of the dead. Everything legal only applies to the dead. All things legal are dead, of the dead, for the dead. The dead. Legal is the world of the dead dog. So you would have to have an affidavit sworn by Benji Howe that I'm guilty of criminal harassment to even lay those fucking charges. And the other thing is, female Crown Counsel, you'd also have to have a sworn affidavit from the pigs at the Saanich Police Department, which would then contain their names because they have to swear a statement before you could even lay those charges. Do you not have a fucking clue what you're doing? No, you don't actually. You don't have a fucking clue what you're doing because my father told you that you don't make idols. You don't make idols, so why do you have idols? Why do you have idols made? And then you've got these satanic idols absolutely everywhere. And now you're trying to extort me for another $1,000. Right, because I had issued an invoice to Saanich for my time. Let me see if I can find it here for us all. Oh, here's the photo of the Saanich pig who is committed. This one here kidnapped me and unlawfully confined me, and then it's been back multiple times here. Extortion, intimidation. Yeah, criminal harassment. That's the face. That's the face of the pig. Why are you wearing black gloves? Only criminals wear gloves. Only criminals wear gloves. And that's exactly who you are, right? So that's a crime. Kidnapping and unlawful confinement charges. So those are the charges against you, not me. Here's the intimidation and extortion attempt. You cannot turn a right into a privilege. You cannot turn a right into a privilege and issue a license for it. I'm afraid that's a fucking crime. And my race doesn't bow to the beast. So now you're guilty of extortion. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to extort me. You're trying to force me into joinder with the beast. And so that female crown counsel, yeah, it's guilty of intimidation. So you threatened me with harm. You intimidated me. You're going to put me in jail and you have no claim. Is that right? So now I can lose what little left I have? Because that, and so who are you getting your instructions from? Who were you talking to? Because you're a malicious witness. The Crown Counsel is a malicious witness. Every single pig at the Saanich Police Department is a malicious witness. And every single pig at the Victoria Police Department is also a malicious witness. And now we've got Benji Howe, also a malicious witness. So you have no fucking claim. And yet you continue to fucking criminally fucking harass me. And so this is a common law country. It's a common law country. Yes. So my father's laws that are written and sit right there on the witness box of the whorehouse, that is the law. And that is the only law we'll be following if you're going to come after me and my family. And that's a maxim of law. That's a maxim of law. Do you understand about maxims of law? So let me see here. Oh, here's all the damage done to my body from all of that violence. My ankle, well, I was shackled, so you can imagine. My ankles are all swollen and all fucking chafed, all red and chafed. They were so sore when I did put any water on them. Oh, can you sue? Can you sue for physical, psychological, and financial injuries? Well, you robbed me, right? Didn't you? You robbed me. You robbed me of my property. That's why I wouldn't get out of her, because I knew that your intent was robbery, and then once I got out of her, then you committed the criminal act. So you've got both criminal mind and criminal act for robbery. And of course, you also had criminal mind and criminal act of mischief. But you want to fucking come at me? Are you all fucking stupid? Because I know that you are stupid. Where is that bill? Well, yes, because you stole my time. And you see, you've already agreed to the fee schedule. Your tacit agreement is legally binding to you for the fee schedule. And I told you years ago that if I was handcuffed, transported, incarcerated, and subjected to any adjudication process without my express written and autographed consent, which you never once got the entire fucking time, and you still don't fucking have it, which is why I'm doing this right now, I told you that you would be paying wages of $10,000 an hour. And I was confined. Well, the assault started a little after 7 o'clock at night, and I wasn't released till 5 minutes after 4 o'clock the next day. Which is why I have informed the criminals acting as a district of Saanich many times that you now have wages due, and wages are due. I was just using this document last night. Where has it gone? Here's the invoice for Saanich. Here's the invoice for Saanich, and let's look at the maxims on here. So the welfare of the people shall be the supreme law. Right. Well, that makes fucking sense, doesn't it? You're going to love your neighbor like you love yourself? Does that make sense? Have you ever heard that before? Dean Duthie? Dean Murdoch? Del Manick? Marianne Alto? Have you ever heard that before, David Evie? How about you, Nikki Sharma? Hey, Nikki? So this maxim asserts that the will being in the best interest of the people, not persons, not citizens, not residents, not taxpayers, the people, the people. Oh, should be, oh, here we go. Oh, this is just a maybe now. Should be the highest priority in matters of law and governance. Let the doer beware. There's another maxim of law. So a warning to the person taking action or initiating a legal process to be cautious and aware of the consequences or potential risks involved. So I told you no, and I'm keep telling you no, and yet you're continuing on with your little fucking gang stalking outfit here. So that's what they're doing back at the door then, and then constantly calling me to let me know that this morning at 9 o'clock, I had been invited to a satanic ritual. I was invited this morning to another satanic ritual, of which we all know I didn't go because I don't enter the house of the dead, governed by the dead, for the dead. That's what legal is, right? So to a willing woman, no injury is done. That's a law maxim. Do you get that? Did you just hear how the conversation that I had with that intake officer? It implies that if a woman willingly exposes themselves to a known risk or danger, they cannot claim compensation or relief for any resulting harm or injury. So that's why I didn't get out. That's why I kept telling you no. And so now this is the invoice that you need to pay Dean Murdoch because you agreed by tacit agreement. So 21 hours of my time at $10,000 an hour, and we can see the amount there. And then, of course, I've had to pay $400 to even get proof of the body of the crime. What is necessary is lawful. So that's another maxim at the bottom here I'm reading. What is necessary is lawful. It's necessary for me to tell you to go fuck yourselves, and it's necessary for me to take my house back from the trespassers. So I was in lawful execution of my duties. So explanation suggests that actions or measures that are necessary or essential are considered lawful or permissible. Now let's go over here and take a fucking look at just some of what the fuck took place here. I won't show all of this to you, just a little bit. Yeah, here we go. So I've been surrounded now, completely surrounded. 6 vehicles, a dozen or more armed and dangerous assailants, all disturbing the peace of the neighbors, all there to lie, to intimidate, to assault, to cause mischief, to cause vandalism.
No, I'm fine right here, thank you.
Hey, ma'am, you've got an expired
They're there to rob my property
Can you provide
by towing it and having it impounded.
I'm sorry, I don't answer questions.
And they all know why I'm there, so now we know that they're actually reading the emails.
Okay, so ma'am, right now you're also under arrest for criminal harassment, so I need you to step out of the vehicle, please, because you're under arrest.
No, I won't be doing that either. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Okay,
They're
ma'am, so
gaslighting me.
I'm a police officer. This is another police officer. We're in full police uniform.
I see that.
We're giving you a direct legal instruction. You're currently under arrest. You're not free to go. You're now in our custody. You need to step out of the vehicle so we can take charge of you. Okay? That's what's happening right now. So step out of the vehicle, please, ma'am.
That's not what's happening right now. I'm sorry, I'm not doing anything wrong. You've been sent numerous correspondences. You know what's happening here. So what you have done is you have literally waited knowing I was going to be here so you could now, you're the ones committing a crime. And now what are you going to call for some backup?
Sorry, I can't hear you, Victoria.
You're going to call for backup now. You're now going to arrest me under false charges.
So, Victoria, you are under arrest.
You're going to steal from me the last thing that, my last item of security,
Victoria, we're very happy to hear everything you have to say, but right now...
No, that's not true. Actually, you're not. I've been speaking to you.
To step out of the vehicle.
No, I'm sorry. I will not be doing that for you. You are going to assault me.
No,
you're going to
we're certainly not.
unlawfully confine me. You are going to lay false charges against me. Listen to me. This is not my first rodeo. You have been doing this to me for years. For years, you've been doing this to me. You've been doing the same thing to me when you kidnapped my son, and now you've stolen my property. You've stolen all of my personal chattel and an automobile. You can hear me just fine.
Oh, 37's on the way.
Oh, now we're calling for some more backup, are we?
Okay, Victoria, so anything you do say can be given in evidence, and you are subject to audio and video recording, okay?
I'm audio and video recording you.
Okay, I'm just letting you know that you're also audio and video recorded, okay? Possibly.
Possibly? Well, either I am or I'm not.
I just need to let you know that that's a possibility when you're in our
So I don't consent to your offer to contract. I don't consent to your
just boxed
violating
me in. Did
my
you notice that?
Charter of Rights and
They've
Freedoms.
just boxed
Let's see,
me in
we've got,
front
what,
and back.
Section 7 and Section 12 you're violating? Are you aware that you're violating the Charter of Rights and Freedoms?
Pardon me?
Are you aware that you are violating my rights?
No, so right now you are under arrest for criminal harassment.
And now we're acting stupid.
I am not criminally harassing
But they're
anyone,
not acting,
nor
they
have
are
I
stupid.
criminally harassed anyone. You are making it up. You're making up false charges. You don't know what you were talking about.
Hey, black gloves.
No,
See?
thank you.
Okay, Victoria, do you want to step out of the car?
No, I don't want to step out of the car.
You're gonna have to.
Well,
See what I
I'm not
mean?
going to have to because you're violating my rights. I do not consent
Oh,
to your
there's
offer to
SWAT.
contract. I do not consent to your violating my rights. I do not consent to your criminal harassment. You're uttering threats. You're intimidating me. These are all violations. These are all criminal code offenses.
She's currently here.
Yeah, look at her.
Why is she currently here? Yes, let's hear why
Mocking.
she's currently here. She's currently here to take back her stolen property because there's been an act of fraud on the court.
Here we go. Parking to impede traffic is a violation.
You are embarrassing yourselves.
It's a crime.
You're embarrassing yourselves.
There's more clocks here if you want to step on out.
I do not want to
Again, look
step
at the
on
gloves.
out. I do not consent to your intimidation. I do not consent to your criminal harassment. I do not consent to well, basically you want to kidnap me. You're going to assault me by arresting me. I don't
They're all
consent to
armed.
any of that.
So she's currently under
Every single one of them is armed. Every single
She
one of them
hasn't
is
criminally
armed.
harassed anyone. You're making this all up.
There we go. Look at this. I'm being
I'm
mobbed.
sorry, I don't.
This is a
Listen.
mob.
what you have to say.
A
No, you
malicious-
don't. No, you're not.
malicious
You have to
No.
mob.
follow that legal command, okay?
I'm sorry, I don't follow unlawful commands. You are guilty of harassment.
Sorry, can
You're
you say
guilty
I'm
of
in police
intimidation.
uniform? Can you say I'm in full police uniform?
I have not caused loss, harm, or injury to anyone.
You're under arrest.
Here we go.
I have not caused loss,
So who's
harm,
disturbing
or
the peace?
injury to anyone.
Who's disturbing
You
the
are
peace here?
commanding me to put me into
just
duress,
look me
under threat.
So, Victor, I'm a police officer.
No, you're not. No, you're not a police officer. You're a criminal.
Innocent. They're infants, imbeciles, and illiterates.
Compromise we can make.
We're not going to make that kind of compromise. This is
Ignorance.
the only item of security I have left. This is it. You've stolen everything from me. Have you read any of the emails?
My officer's safety.
Have you read
Well, of course
any
they
of
have.
the?
That's why
You're
they're there
concerned for
mobbing
your
me.
safety.
Isn't that right, Dean
Oh
Murdoch?
my gosh! Now you're gaslighting me.
Chief
now you're
Jeffy.
Who's the one being threatened?
Del Manic,
Victoria, I'm happy to hear
David
everything you have
Eby,
to say,
Nikki
but
Sharma.
Stop it! Stop
Shannon
touching.
Saltier.
Now you're hurting it. Now you're causing harm to my property.
So, Victoria, you need to step out of the vehicle because you're.
No,
Now
I
they're
won't be
touching my
stepping out of the
property.
vehicle for you.
Well aware of all your rights under the law.
You have no idea what my rights are. You are intimidating me. You're causing me fear of harm. You're causing me fear of harm and injury.
Yeah. Victoria, we've been very calm
Stop
with you,
it!
And we need you to step out of the
Stop!
vehicle because you are
Stop!
under arrest.
You need to stop it.
Victoria, can you understand what I'm saying?
So when a
What
woman
is it?
says
I will
no,
help you.
I don't understand anything you're saying. You need to
stop.
stop it. You
When
need
a
to
woman
stop.
says
You
no,
know
you
exactly
stop.
what I'm doing here. You
Because
know
if
exactly
not,
what's happened
then
to
we
me.
know what
You are
that
going
is,
out
right?
of your way.
Victoria, this is the first time I've talked to you, right?
No. You have all read the emails. You have all seen what's going on. You all know what's going
We're a
on.
very busy police department. I'm happy.
I
to hear
know.
what you have to
Oh,
say,
yes,
but
I know
you're
you're
under
very
arrest,
busy.
and I want you to be aware of
Oh,
your
they're
rights
busy.
before
Yeah,
we-
busy being
before-
I'm
criminals.
sorry. I don't do the legal baloney. I don't know what you're talking about.
Charter rights, Okay?
I know that's why you're violating my charter rights. You're violating my rights under Section 7 and Section 12 right now.
So right now I'd like you to step out of the vehicle.
I have done nothing wrong. Nothing.
Am I understanding you're not complying with me right now?
Mobbed. I'm being mobbed.
You are violating my... I am in fear of harm and injury. I do not consent to what you are doing.
As we always do with all prisoners in our care.
I'm not a prisoner in your care. I have not done any... I have
So
not
that
caused
piece of shit
anyone harm,
is
loss,
the one
or
criminally
injury.
harassing me. That's the piece of
I'm
shit who
the
was
victim
back
of
of
the
door,
crime.
That you are not complying with my
with an
legal
extortion attempt, a ticket,
You are violating... Okay, so you're
which
not
is a form of
listening.
taxation.
Okay, I understand.
Taxation,
you're not
all of
listening.
it's
You
voluntary.
understand that
None
you're
of
not
it's
listening?
mandatory.
That's what you understand.
Hey, Victoria.
See?
Mike, we met before.
What do you think, guys? How much cortisol was being pumped into my adrenal
No,
glands?
you're not explaining any... Listen to me.
We're touching your car.
Oh, there's Mike. That's the guy I was just talking about. There's Mike.
I don't want it to go that way. I really want you to open the door.
That
You are
one
not going
there,
to assault me.
not
You are
good.
not
That
going to
one
make
there,
me be in fear of harm and injury. You
continuously
are
dishonest.
violating my charter rights
A
under Section
manipulator,
7
master
and Section
manipulator
12
Mike.
right now. I have done nothing wrong. I have traveled here. I do not use this
So who's disturbing the
item
peace here?
for commercial business. I do not use this
you
item
don't have a
for
license.
commercial
You don't have
business, which is
insurance,
why
I just
I would
heard.
require
Don't need
a
a license.
license.
I take responsibility.
I'm under my rights to travel
loss, harm, and injury
freely
I caused to
in
others.
order
Thanks.
to save my life. What are you doing? Why are you... You all know that this is stolen property. This is stolen property. Do you understand that this is stolen property?
No, we're just there to assault the victim of the crime. So
You're
then
going
one
to
of them
pop my
says, "Let's pop
tires."
her tires." Yeah, I heard him. I heard the
You are
thing.
going to
I
cause
heard the beast.
injury to the last item of security I have left,
They're
is
gonna
what my
vandalize.
understanding of what your plan is.
They're gonna vandalize.
You
it.
are violating my rights. I'm in fear of harm and injury.
Your car whatsoever. If you just step out.
I am in
Okay, so
fear
we've seen
of
enough
harm
of
and
this. You
injury
got
right
what happened,
now.
right? You saw them come up. You saw them mob me. And now I'll show you what happened after. So it's close to 6 o'clock. It's Saturday. It's August 31st, 2024. And I'm inside, an impound lot. So a couple of nights ago, when I was at my stolen property to regain access to her, I was surrounded, immediately surrounded. At one point, there must have been probably 16. Persons acting as police. And so I guess I won't go into what they did to me right now. So what I'm here to do is to document. Now, I just had to pay $400 that I can't afford to even have access to her and to what was done to her and what was done to me when I was inside her in fear for my life. Because I was trying to stop crime from happening to me. I was trying to stop I can't aid and abet someone committing crime. It doesn't matter whether they're committing the crime against me or they're committing the crime against someone else. I can't, if I know that there's a crime occurring, I can't aid and abet the crime, because then I'm part of the problem and not part of the solution. And I can guarantee you that I have never been part of the problem. I am part of the solution. So I'm about to show you my 1993 Mazda 323. I purchased her brand new in February of '93, and she's been reliable, and she's been trustworthy, and she's been loyal the whole time. She still purrs like a kitten. And so here we're going to flip this around. Now right here, I had an assailant purposely, intentionally vandalize my automobile back in 2002, in the fall of 2002. And so you can gain access. If a woman is inside, you can gain access by just cutting. There's just a very thin film of tape there, very thin film of tape. You can cut the tape. You can take the plastic off, and then you could reach your hand inside and unlock her. So I was inside of her the other night, and Well, now we're going to see what happened here. So this entire window was blown out by a vandal, a criminal, an assailant who identifies themselves as policy enforcement. The whole window was blown inside, and all of the material, the glass, was blown all over me. This was done intentionally, this was done maliciously, this was done with a criminal mind, and this is the criminal act. Now, the reason why I've just paid $400 that I can't afford to pay, which is now going to put my life in harm's way, including homelessness and the loss of more personal chattel, is because this is the body of the crime. I have been unlawfully accused of criminal harassment, and now I've been unlawfully accused of obstruction of justice. That's defamation of character. I am not the criminal, I am the victim of outrageous to the standard of decency crimes. As I was sitting in her, also, there was another criminally minded, with criminal intent, a male monster, who then decided, see, you can't gain access to me from this side, but they decided to blow in an entire window. And we can see some of the material here. That's been the material here. Now I'm going to open her, and I'm going to show you all the glass inside of her. And I was sitting in her as this took place. Sorry, I was here to remove some property from her. Yeah, I've just paid $400 to get a little bit of property out of her. I am being forced to pay $50 per day to have her. I want to show you all the glass that was blown all over me. I was sitting right here, and all the glass was blown in. That's what hate-filled whores do. Hi there, those of you who have just joined me. I'm documenting the property damage that occurred to a piece of my personal property by the members of the Saanich Police Department. They blew in. So you're going to tell me that's not police misconduct?
An entire window.
That's vandalism of private property.
And they blew in the entire back
act of
window
mischief.
here. And here's some of the material that they destroyed.
My little boy
a
used to sit
1993
right
Mazda
there.
323 that
But
I
they already
owned
took him
since
and
she was
murdered
brand
him.
new.
Murdered
And
my
this is
spouse's
what they
legacy.
decided to do.
Murdered his good
because
character.
I was in lawful execution.
And now they're after me.
Of my duty,
so we've all seen enough of
obligation,
this.
and responsibility as the true owner of 6.
So what do you think? Hey, what do you think about all of that? So this is why there's an invoice issued to the mob monster. The District of Saanich, Dean Murdoch. Dean Murdoch, you are criminally minded, and now you're involved in criminal acts of, you're aiding and abetting mortgage fraud and trespassing on private property. And let's see what it says down here. Let's go over it again, since you're all infants, imbeciles, and illiterates. What is necessary is lawful. It's necessary for me to save my life. It's necessary for me to take back my stolen property.